Okay guys, so this is part 2 to my previous video where I showed you how to get the perfect custom brown root. And I'm actually trying to show you 2 different ways that you could do it on the same wig. Alright, so here is the unit from the previous video where we just rooted it and we took the darker colors down, you know, in the back, and at the root we left them a little shorter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to darken this blonde to make it a more dirty blonde using the 7NB and the shades EQ equal amounts. Okay, so now I'm going to weave in several places to bring in some low lights using that 7NB mixed with equal amounts of the Shades EQ processing solution. And this is going to give me the contrast that I want, and showing you, you know, 2 different ways that you can do low lights or tint back on blonde 613 hair. Now, you can be creative and create a sequence where you weave one row, skip, and then you can actually color the entire row to give it a deeper contrast of the 7NB. It's totally up to you. You can even bring it down some and you can leave, you know, more of the ends light. It's just a matter of how creative you want to be with this low lighting. Okay guys, so looking at the previous top portion, and I will be wearing this in a middle part, I want to bring that color down some, and I want to make it a little darker. This is optional. I'm just showing you different things that you can do. I'm going to make it darker in the back, bringing that darker 6NB down a little further. Now, as you bring it down, you want to make sure you're not putting too much product on the brush at one time so that you can try to prevent a line of demarcation. You want to make sure you feather that color down so that it blends into that 613 hair. I'm going to work my way around that crown area to make sure everything is blending, make sure everything is uniform. I went underneath because I was creating a, you know, darker contrast under there, but now that I'm changing it, I'm going to do most of that darkness on top. Make sure that you are really, really light with your brush. If you get some on the root, you can always go back and remove it with the bleach and developer. Okay, so once you get everything on nice and blended, you're going to allow it to process 20 to 30 minutes. I did leave the front a little bit more blonde, and the back has most of the darker tones. Okay, so same scenario here. When I rinse it, I usually put a little water on it, kind of lather it up and let it sit so that I can tone those ends. And here you can see the finished outcome where you can see a lot of the low lights coming through. And now we're ready to style it. We're going to apply with Skin Protect. We're going to use our bowl hold. We're going to use thin layers, guys. Always thin layers. And you're going to drag it. Now we're ready to apply. Making sure we only apply it to clear glue. And we're ready to apply it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications.